read this.
Hello, welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. My name is Hussein, it's my lovely wife, Ida. Hope you guys are having a good day. And let me put this on. Okay. Yeah, so today we've been doing a series about seeing Jesus in every book of the Old Testament. Start with Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, which is Jesus, Judges. And today we come
Ruth.
to Ruth.
Woo-hoo.
You know what they said? Remember that Supreme Court justice? There's a Supreme Court justice named Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and she died a few years ago. You know what they said about the court after she died?
No.
They said it was ruthless.
Uh-oh.
It was a bad joke then, so. Anyway.
What a great day to do a live stream about Ruth. What a love story, huh? On a Valentine's Day, you talk about Ruth and Boaz.
I forgot about that.
What a great love story. I mean, love for Naomi, love for Boaz, love for the God of Israel, and love for... I mean, it's amazing. It's a love story, I think.
It is a love story.
And love to redeem the kinsman.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that part. Hello, God bless you. And but it is a love. It really is an amazing love story. There's several of those amazing love stories in the Bible. There's, of course, Esther is kind of a love story. It's a little bit of a rough love story, but Song of Solomon, of course. There's all of the love stories in the book of Genesis with Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Rachel, Jacob and Leah, Jacob and Bilhah, Jacob and Zilpah.
Those weren't love stories.
Yeah.
Only Jacob and
Rachel
were love stories.
So, yeah, but this is definitely one of the really shining love stories in the Bible. It's the story of Ruth. So we wanted to show that we don't, of course, we don't show, it's there whether we want to be or not, but it is the book of Ruth is a phenomenal story and important. We talked a little bit about this. I'm not sure yes, we did. We talked about it when we talked about Jericho in the book of Joshua. That one aspect of Joshua that connects to Jesus is the fact that Rahab, the harlot, is actually in the lineage of Jesus. And so Rahab, the harlot, is in the book of, she's the harlot in the book of Joshua. And so, there's that connection. And there's 5 women in the lineage of Jesus. Can you name them?
Rahab. Ruth. Mary. Tamar.
One more adulteress.
One more adulteress. Mary Magdalene. No, in the lineage. I'm sorry, hold on. Eve? No.
Well, yeah, but she's not mentioned in Matthew. So.
I don't know the 5th one. Can you give me a hint?
She was very clean.
She was a harlot and she was clean?
No, I didn't say she was a harlot, but she was very clean.
You said adultery? I don't remember.
Bathsheba.
Oh! She was taking a bath. Sheba, yeah.
But she's mentioned in the Bible. She's mentioned in the book of Matthew. Now, it's interesting, in the book of Matthew and the book of Luke, both have the lineages of Jesus. But the book of Matthew comes through Solomon's through David and Solomon, the lineage does. Whereas in Luke, it comes from David and his son Nathan. It does not come through Solomon in the book of Luke. It comes through the Nathan, the son of David. So anyway, so all right. Well, look. Can you? How did you feel when you read the book of Ruth? Like, what is your feeling about the in its relationship to Jesus?
The book of Ruth?
Yes.
What do I think? Or how do I feel about?
How do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel like Ruth was a woman who saw what Naomi and her family are all about, how they worship the God of Israel, how they worship one God, and she probably witnessed, you know, their prayers. She probably witnessed the way they, um, you know, worship God, and so she, after she lost her husband, she didn't want to go back to what she had before, like a like fake gods and
She was, by the way, Ruth was a Moabite,
yeah.
and they used to worship different gods in Moab. One of their gods is called Chemosh. And by the way, I gotta say about the Moabites, who can tell me who? I'll put it as a $5 test. Who is the father of the Moabites? Who is the father of the
Moab.
Moabites?
Sorry. I mean Moabites.
Abla got it right. Oh, how come it's not showing?
It's okay. Now it's
Moab is Lot's son through his daughter.
yay! $5 goes to Abla.
Yeah, good luck collecting it.
Yeah, when I collect it, I'll give it to you.
So amazing.
So,
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah, she's definitely. And Lot, indirectly Lot was a kind of in the lineage of Christ because of Ruth. You know, so even Lot, with all his foibles and disasters, somehow made it in through Ruth. You know, but she left all that. She says, "I don't want their gods. I don't want their culture. I don't want their customs. I don't want their wickedness. I don't want whatever they have." Moab, and they were a rich country. They were well off, but she said, "I don't want any of it." And so she left it all behind to follow.
it's kind of like coming from Las Vegas to, let's say, go to a very religious Christian, country, and then they tell you go back there, and you're like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go back there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
it's a matter of heart,
Yeah.
I don't know, you guys, if you can hear it, but it rains so hard where we are right now, and if you hear it, it's because of the rain.
It's so
outside.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So
We'll show you
beautiful.
later.
Yeah.
We'll show you guys later, but it's beautiful. It's raining so hard. Like, anyway, so yeah, Ruth was very attached to Naomi, and
Oh, let me just tell you first. Let me give you a little background. I love the noise.
what?
Yeah, I love the rain noise. You
Yeah.
can hear it, yeah. Well, you know what? Let me just tell you a little bit of why Naomi was there. What happened? The story of Ruth, the book of Ruth, happened during the time of the judges. Okay, and first of all, there was the time when the Israelites came into the land with Joshua. That's the book of Joshua. After Joshua died, began the period of the judges. It lasted about 300 or so years, and there's like about 12 judges. Among them, Gideon, and is that me? Oops, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. And during the time of the judges, there was a big famine in the land, because the people were disobedient and God didn't send rain. And so the family of Elimelech, a guy named Elimelech, who was Naomi's husband. And here is the first connection to Jesus, you guys. Who wants to guess what city Elimelech is from? Anybody want to guess? Because this is the first.
Los Angeles.
This is the first connection to Jesus. Who wants to guess?
Nazareth.
No.
Bethlehem.
Bethlehem. Elimelech is from the city of Bethlehem. So this story, which happened around 1,000 years before Jesus, more than 1,000 years before Jesus, and more than 1,000 years before Jesus, and yet the story begins in Bethlehem. And so Elimelech's family, because there's no food, they leave Israel and go to Moab. And that includes Elimelech, the father, with his sons Mahlon and Chilion. Those are his two sons, and his wife Naomi. And they all go to Moab, because there was food there. And they live there. And they live in Moab for 10 years. Okay. They lived in Moab for 10 years in an idolatrous country, but they were still serving the Lord, but they were in an idolatrous country. And while they were there, the sons, Mahlon and Chilion, married two women. And Chilion married a woman named Oprah. No, I'm just kidding. It's very close to Oprah, though. It's Orpah. Orpah. Very close to Oprah. And very similar to Oprah. No, just kidding. And then Mahlon married Ruth. Yes. And then the husband, Elimelech, died. And so Naomi did not have her husband anymore. And then Mahlon died. And then Chilion died. All three men died. And Ruth didn't have any more men. And her two daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth, they were all widows. They all became widows. And so when they all became widows, Naomi heard that the Lord had visited his people in Bethlehem and brought food. And so she wanted to go back to Israel. And she said to her daughters-in-law, she said specifically, go back to your people. Go back to your gods. Go back to your gods. And Orpah, both of them cry very much. And they say, no, we can't do this. We can't leave you. And then she says, look.
Orpah's was fake.
Yeah. Orpah, I lost it a little bit, but it wasn't that deep. And so she did go back to her gods, her fake gods of Chemosh and whatever. And some people even suspect that Orpah may be related somehow to, some people say possibly to Goliath. She didn't just go back. She went back to trouble. But anyway, we don't know that for sure. The Bible doesn't say. But anyway, Ruth refuses to go back. And there's a very famous songs about what Ruth said. She says, let nothing but death separate me from you. And what's so important about what Ruth said is that Ruth said, your God will be my God. She didn't want to go back to the fake gods of Moab.
No.
She knew the God of Israel was true, and she wanted to serve. She was kind of like Abraham. She was kind of like Abraham, who left everything to follow God. And so she did the same thing, and this like a Gentile coming into the covenant family. And so and so they come back to Bethlehem, Naomi and Ruth, together. And when they come back, all the people start saying, hey, is that Ruth? What's happening?
Before they come back, so Naomi keeps telling Ruth, like, hey, go back. I don't have any more husbands. Even if I have a husband And even if I conceive today and have a son, it's going to take at least 20 years or 17, 18 years for you to have a husband. Are you going to wait that long? Are you going to wait for me? I mean, it's impossible for me to have a son, for you to marry to him again, to be my daughter-in-law. But even, let's say, hypothetically, if I have a husband today and I have a son tomorrow or a year later, it's going to take another 20 years for you to wait to get married to my son. And Ruth says, hey, listen, it's not about that, okay? I want to be with you, to serve you, and to serve your God.
Yes.
I am here for you and for your God. It's not about me being married to your son or to be married to anybody else in your family. So I just want to serve your God. So that's what Ruth wants. And so Ruth sticks with Naomi, and they both move to Bethlehem because they heard that there is food in Bethlehem.
Yes. Harome is asking what book we're reading. We're reading the book of Ruth. It's Ruth, Ruth. It's in the Old Testament. It's the eighth book of the Bible. It's called Ruth. Okay. So.
And it's a name of a woman.
Yes.
It's a woman.
A woman named.
Unlike other books in fake religious books,
like
the Bible has a very high regard for women, and there are lots of women that are
named,
held in very high esteem in the Bible, and the books are named after them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The two books named about women are Ruth and Esther in the Old Testament, and in the Bible there are female prophets, there's female teachers, judges, queens, and so they're regarded prophets, literally prophet. There's prophetesses. So anyway, but the Quran does have one book named after a woman. It's named after supposedly the mother of the Messiah. But unfortunately, it gets the wrong woman with the wrong brother, the wrong sister, the wrong mother, and the wrong father, and the wrong century.
And the wrong conception.
So anyway,
right?
Yeah. Very wrong. Yes, boy.
Very, very wrong book.
Very humiliating.
Very, very wrong chapter. Very, very wrong people.
Very wrong. Very shameful story.
Very shameful book.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to Ruth. And
yes.
First of all, it's very important. This is so important that of all the cities in the world, that this important, very early book in the Bible focuses on. The city that it focuses on is Bethlehem. I mean, that right there is like a message about Jesus. The fact that the story begins in Bethlehem and ends in Bethlehem. And so it just shows you that it's a prophecy about Jesus. It's telling you this is about someone that's going to be born here in Bethlehem. So, that's one of the first points about Jesus.
It's all about Jesus.
Yes,
the whole Bible, it's about Jesus.
That's true. Jesus said the whole book is written about me. So praise the Lord. So let me see. Houston always says crazy stuff.
It takes time.
Okay, so Quran only lists one woman's name, Mary, but Ruth is one of 4 female names in the genealogy of Christ. True story. Yes.
4 or 5?
4. I think Mary. It does mention Mary, which would be the number.
It's Bathsheba, it's Tamar, it's Mary, it's Ruth, and it's Rahab.
Rahab, yeah. But I think he's. I'm not sure he's including Mary. Yeah, there.
Mary, the mother of Jesus.
But Ruth is one of 4 female names. Okay. Yes. True story.
True.
Yeah. Oh, Ruth, Mary, Rahab, Tamar. Doesn't it mention Bathsheba? Doesn't it mention Bathsheba? I thought it mentioned Bathsheba too, but maybe it doesn't. Yeah. But it refers to her, even if it doesn't name her. The wife of
It's
Uriah,
funny how Bathsheba is the one who was
bathing.
bathing
Bathsheba.
bathing Sheba.
It's like her destiny was in her name. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh, oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a very bad joke. Okay, but the Lechem, Bet Lechem.
Bethlehem.
So anyway, then you get into the story, and they come back to Bethlehem, and when they are in Bethlehem, Naomi's old, so she goes to their house, their old house, and it's interesting what she says. Everybody says Naomi's back, Naomi's back, but Naomi, you guys, if you translate her name, Naomi, it means, who knows what it means? It's very close in Arabic. Anybody know? It means grace. In Arabic, it's na'mah. Na'mah. How do you say grace in Farsi?
Phase.
Phase. Okay. How about in Armenian?
Shnork.
Shanort. Okay. Well, those sound like na'mah, but Naomi, yeah, Naomi.
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 Naam.
So anyway, her name meant grace, but she said, "Don't call me Grace anymore. I went out full and I came back empty." And she says, "Call me Mara." And that's interesting that it's called Mara, because it's not far from Mary. And there's a little bit of a connection. It actually comes from the word murra. In Arabic, it's murra, which means bitter. But it's not far from Mary. And so there's a little bit of a something there, I kind of think, And so...
Mara.
Yeah.
She wasn't very happy because she thought God turned against her, or turned her, like forgot about her. She felt like God forsake me, and he forgot about me. I went out from Bethlehem, went to the land of Moab to live there, move there with lots of money, donkeys, flock, everything. But she lost everything. She lost all her all the financial stuff, and her husband and her 2 sons. And I mean, she's very, very unhappy, thinking, oh, God has something against her. She thinks God has something against her.
She says God, the Lord has turned against me.
Yeah. So she comes back with Ruth, and everybody's happy. They're like, oh, her name is Grace, so she's back. But when she hears people are happy and they call her by her name, she says, no. God turned against me. He doesn't want me. He forsook me. So call me bitter, because I am a very, very upset. She's very upset because she lost everything and she came back empty. She says, I went full, I came back empty. So, so she comes back with Ruth, and there's nothing. They don't even have anything. They don't have food to eat. So what is Ruth doing? Ruth is telling her, hey, I'm just going to go glee in the field here. So I don't know if you guys know what glee means. You want to tell them what glee means?
Okay, glean. What the word glean, and this is the principle that what happens is that somebody, like when there's a harvest, in the time of harvest, the harvesters go out and they harvest the wheat in the field. And we've been there, by the way, to the field. But they're in Bethlehem in the field, and they're harvesting the barley. It was barley harvest, and while they're harvesting, what they're supposed to do, God tells them to do this, is to leave some of the wheat, leave just like bundles of the wheat behind, for poor people, to come up behind you and pick it up. And so let the poor people come behind you and pick it. And that's called gleaning from the fields, from the field. And so that's what Ruth did. She went out to the field, and the Lord led her footsteps, and she went to the field of a man named Boaz. And here is the second $5 question that leads right to Jesus. Okay, the $5 question: who can tell me the mother of Boaz? The mother of Boaz. It's another $5.
No
you
chat
guys.
GPT.
Yeah, no
You
cheating.
have 5 seconds to answer.
Yeah, no cheating, you guys.
1,
Be Christians. Just kidding.
2. Hurry up, think about it.
She doesn't mess around, you guys.
3.
$5 is not
The
nothing.
mother of Boaz, very, very famous person in the book, in the Bible. 4. Come on, Abla, you know it.
The mother of Boaz.
5. No, nobody.
Yeah, but yay, $5, you guys. You lost $5. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but yay.
Let's give him another chance. Okay, let's
give him
move.
another 5 seconds.
Okay. Another 5 seconds.
Somebody's cheating. I'm still studying.
You know the name. We just mentioned it like half an hour ago. Not even.
The mother of Boaz. Now Ruth went and started gleaning in the fields of Boaz in Bethlehem, and it says the name of Boaz's mother. Boaz is, it does say it in the book of Matthew, the name of Boaz's mother. I'll give you a hint. Her husband's name, Boaz's father's name is Salmon. Not Solomon, Salmon. That was the father of Boaz.
One of the soldiers that went out to spy, maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
I bet it was.
We don't know.
I bet
Maybe.
it was. Yeah.
I mean, she saved their lives with hanging a red scarlet thread on the window. Right, Abla? She hung a scarlet thread on the window, saving the lives of 2 spies in Jericho. And she married Solomon. So, not Solomon, not King Solomon.
And she was no virgin when she got married.
Rahab.
Rahab
Is the mother of Boaz.
So Boaz is the son of Rahab.
Mm-hmm.
So his mother. So it shows you how close this was. Yep. It shows you how close this was to the beginning of the whole entrance into the land.
Uh-huh.
This guy was Rahab's son. So it wasn't that much time. I mean, it couldn't have been. Now, he was a little bit older.
But this was at the time of the judges. So the judges started right after they entered the land.
Right after Joshua died. Yeah. So it's right after Joshua died. So, they were still living about 100 years by then because...
maybe Rahab was still alive?
It's possible. It's possible.
We don't know how old was Boaz, but he must have been in his 40s or something, huh?
I think he might have been older than that, just because it seems like he's older, and when Ruth approaches him, he says, "You could have gone for one of these younger guys. Instead, you came to me, an older guy."
Yeah.
And so he blesses her for doing that.
So I mean, I don't think she was 6 years old like Aisha. No. And I don't think she was 9 years old when like Muhammad took her in. Yeah. I don't think she was 11 or 12 or 13 because she was married before.
Yeah, she was a widow.
She was
already a widow, so she's probably in her 20s at least.
Yeah.
20,
At least in her early 20s, maybe.
20s
because they
30s,
were there for 10 years.
10
we don't
years.
know when they got married.
Yeah.
But even if we split this like 50-50, let's say 5 years into moving to Moab.
Hmm.
Naomi's second son or first son, whichever the wife of the husband of Ruth. Let's say they got married, so they were 5 years married, and then they die, and then they moved to Bethlehem. Let's say 6 years. Even if she was 14, 15 when she got married, now she's probably 21, 22 years old.
Hmm.
And Boaz is probably in her 30s or 40s, and he says like, you know, he says, why don't you like marry one of these younger men, like in their 20s or 30s?
Yeah. Yes, Houston. Yes, this is the 2 spies who went into Jericho. Yeah, not to be mixed up with the 12 spies who went into the Promised Land, and only 2 of them gave a good report. The other 10 died. I think they stoned them. Actually, the 10 spies who gave the bad report.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, she comes back. She meets this guy Boaz, and starts gleaning in his field. And then when he sees her, he says, "Hey, who's this?" And he takes a look. I mean, he looks at her and sees her working so hard, gleaning in his field all day long, from morning till night. And he says, "Who is this?" And somebody tells him, "This is the daughter-in-law of Naomi,
Mm-hmm.
who left her country to come, and she's been helping Naomi, and and he turns out he's like second in line to inherit Elimelech's possessions, because he's a kinsman. A kinsman means a relative. So he was second in line to inherit Elimelech's possessions. And so he knew what Ruth did for Naomi, how she stood by her and helped her and walked with her. And also, he knew that she left Moab to follow the God of Israel. He knew that she made a spiritual decision to follow God. And so he had tremendous respect for her. And when he did, he told all the guys, he said to the guys, let her glean wherever she wants. Let her take whatever she wants. Make it easy for her. Put extra stuff for her along the way for her to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she found out about that, she came and bowed down to him and said, why do I have such favor with you? And he said, I heard what you did for Naomi, which is his relative. And he says and how that you have come. It says a very interesting thing here. He says you've come to find shelter under the shadow of the God of Israel. How you've come to find shelter under the shadow of the God of Israel. And he says he respected her so much because of that. Hello, Tiger. Long time no see. God bless you, my friend. Yeah, so he had tremendous respect for her. He did. I mean, he liked her. I mean, he looked at her, liked her, I think. But he also had tremendous respect for her because of the decisions that she made. Smart decisions. You guys, we could just stop right here and just talk about stupid decisions. Some people make stupid decisions and the rest of their lives is ruined because of those stupid
like Lily J.
Yeah. And some decisions people never recover from. Some stupid decisions you never recover from. But a lot of stupid decisions, there is repentance. And you come to Jesus right now and just say, Jesus, forgive me. Give me a new chance. Give me a new beginning. And Jesus says, come unto me, you who labor and are heavy laden. I will give you rest. He will forgive you. Okay? If we did make stupid decisions, like Rahab made stupid decisions, but then she made good decisions. And so anyway, so there was this connection between Boaz and Ruth, okay? And then Ruth went home. She had this truckload of grain with her that she took home to Naomi. And then Naomi says, "What is up? What did you do today?" And she says, "Well, I just was gleaning in this field of Boaz, and da, da." and and then Naomi goes, "Ah, he's a kinsman. He's a kinsman. He's a relative." And in the Bible, when it says kinsman, that means a relative. And uh, and she was so happy and everything. And then, like I guess a few weeks passed or a few days passed, and then the mother-in-law was also a matchmaker, and she says, "You know what? I gotta. He is our kinsman, and so Ruth, this is what you have to do." She says,
She knew that that's the only way that they can get the land back.
"Yeah,
They have to, so because of the law of Moses, right?
well, she had the land. Naomi had the land, but she did not have an heir to inherit the land after her because she had no son."
So she wanted somebody to, so she needed to have a son.
Uh-huh.
Naomi needed to have a son
Mm-hmm.
because she lost her husband, she lost both of her sons, but now she needs to have a son, an heir,
Right.
for her
To keep
land,
the land
and to keep the land, to
the
keep the
possession.
name going,
And to keep,
keep the name going.
Exactly. And the Bible provides for that in the book of Deuteronomy. Ah, look at the bird. Ah, what kind of bird is that? Oh man, look at that bird. It's got something in its mouth.
Yeah, big chunk of bread or something too.
Anyway, so yeah, so
So that's why she encouraged Ruth, and she was young,
Mhm.
so she was a young widow. And you know, the Bible says if you're a young widow, you should go and get married again
Mhm.
instead of being, you know, because Bible is very consistent from the Old Testament to New Testament. Apostle Paul says, don't be busy bodies like going here, going there. Get married, take care of your family, you know, take care of a family if there are other kids involved. If not, then get married if you're young. If your husband dies, go get married, have children, you know, and teach the other younger women, you know. It's not about uh yeah, the birds were gleaning. So it's what that's what Naomi wanted Ruth to do. So she instruct her to do what? Go
Yeah,
to what?
she told her exactly what to do, and she knew how this works. She said, go to Boaz's field tonight. Put on your nicest clothes. Take a shower.
Yeah,
Get
boy,
clean. And
yeah.
she said, "This is what she says. What I'm going to tell you." Okay. Do your
Take
hair
a
real
shower.
nice. Do the hair, and then go and sleep by his feet, and then uncover his feet, and then when he wakes up and he speaks to you, he sees you, then say to him, "I am your kinsman or your relative. Now put your cloak over me or your covering over me." It's kind of like the way it says it.
Meaning marry me.
And yeah, it means to marry her, yeah. And so that's exactly what happens. She goes during the field, she lies down at his feet, and he wakes up and goes, "What's going on?" And startled. And he said, and he sees a woman at his feet. He goes, "What is that?" And she goes, "I am Ruth." And he says, "I am your kinsman. Come and yeah, but yeah, Tiger says,
Because I said it.
he says, "Put your covering over me." And and what does Boaz say? Boaz says, "Well, God bless you. You could have chosen one of the younger men. Instead, you came to me." So, you know, one thing I think about Boaz a little bit, and I wonder, okay, because Boaz's mother was a prostitute, a repentant prostitute, you know, Rahab, and you know, Canaanite, and you know, not originally Jewish. So he was half breed. You know, if you remember Cher's song, Half Breed, he was a half breed Jew. His father was Jewish, but his mother was a, you know, a Canaanite. And so I wonder if he always felt kind of different, an outcast a little bit, because he was so old and yet he wasn't married yet, and he's so successful. He was so successful. Why wasn't he married yet? You think, maybe he felt a little bit like an outcast or something, to where he didn't get married until he was old, you know?
Maybe he was ugly. Or maybe he was.
Or there's always a simple answer.
Maybe he was short or too tall. Maybe he was big or too skinny. Who knows?
Tiger, now's a good time to say yapaye. So. But anyway, so he wasn't married yet. And so she went, and what did he say to her? He said, but there's another kinsman who is nearer, who's closer. And this is interesting, guys. You can go both to the book of Deuteronomy and to the book of Leviticus, I think. And it talks about the kinsman redeemer. And you see it in the book of Genesis, the concept of the kinsman redeemer. And what that means is that, I get married, and then, and so I'm supposed to have, and I have an inheritance. I have land, okay, that I got in Israel. And this land belongs to me. But before I have a kid, I die. A kid to inherit it, I die. So there's no heir, no one to. What happens? Someone else is going to buy it or take it over, and my family name is just wiped out. But there's the concept of the kinsman redeemer who will come, and this is like kind of like where Jesus talked, where the Sadducees talked to Jesus, and they said, so there's a brother, he doesn't have a kid, so he dies, and then his brother marries the woman, and he dies and doesn't have a kid, and then the other brother, and then the other brother. Is the concept of the kinsman redeemer, which is this brother who will come and marry the widow to raise up seed for the deceased, so that they don't lose their land, their inheritance in the land, and their name isn't wiped out. And so this was, was 80 years old when he married Ruth, estimated to be about 40. Wow. Thank you, Houston. God bless you, man. Appreciate that. But that happened, one time where that happened was the story of Tamar. Remember Tamar in the Old Testament, that she married Judah's son. What was his name? He had a funny name, Judah's son. I can't remember his first son, but he was wicked, and it says the Lord slew him. And then his brother was supposed to go in and marry his wife and have a son, and that son would be for the son who died. And his name was Onan. Okay, and you guys can guess what his name has come to be associated with. I'm not going to say it. Okay, but it's called Onanism. Okay, and he was supposed to have sex with Tamar. He married Tamar. He's supposed to have sex with her, but he knew that the son that he would have, the first son, would not be his. It would be his brother's, to raise up an heir for his brother. And so he refused to,
make a baby.
And he was called, the first son was Yeah, that's right. And so that's the concept of the kinsman redeemer, is that there's a relative who will come, who would redeem the family name. And God got angry with and slew him. Now you think, why did God get so angry with these people? Because these people were in the lineage of Christ. Tamar was one of the women. The first woman in the lineage of Christ was Tamar in the book of Matthew. And what did she do? She played the prostitute, got pregnant through her father-in-law. Okay. And now with Muhammad, that was okay. With Muhammad, that was okay. Muhammad said, with Muhammad, it's okay, and the Quran makes it okay. The Quran does. But in the Bible, it's abomination and it's a sin. And so It says, now Judah did it. He didn't know it was his daughter-in-law when he did it, and he never touched her again. Okay, now when he found out it was his daughter-in-law, he never did it again. He thought it was a prostitute, which is bad also. But but the Bible does say that he never did it again, and what he did was wrong. But in the Quran, it's okay. In fact, Muhammad did it so that it would be okay for men in the future to have sex with their daughters-in-law.
Yeah, in the Bible, it's not okay, and
Yes.
it's not from God. These are the people that they thought that they can do it to fix the problems that they thought it was the way they wanted to fix it. So Tamar in the Bible, covering herself, disguising as a prostitute, standing in front of some place, knowing that the father-in-law is coming and trying to seduce him to come to her and hire her as a prostitute, is totally different than a man who calls himself a prophet of God, or Allah as he says it, say that God told him to go and marry his daughter-in-law.
And Allah did tell him to marry his daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
And that's in Quran chapter 33,
So he
verse 37.
made it possible for him.
Not just made it, he commanded it.
But he made it possible, so that he sent the wind to come and blew the curtain
so that he saw her.
so that he could see her half naked, whatever. And it says that she was very fat and she was really big and pretty or whatever. But this is not the case in the Bible. It's not the case in our Holy Bible. In the Holy Bible, these people are condemned for doing things like this. But in your book, and don't go around using the name of Tamar. I know, because we were listening to Christian Prince, and there was this Muslim guy who called it. He kept saying, "Oh, Tamar. What about Tamar? What about Tamar? What about Tamar?" Tamar was just a human being, sinful like you, like all of us. So we all sinned. Okay, so these people, they sinned against God. They did it the way they wanted it. Okay, it's not like God told them to do it. The God of the Bible never tells you to do stuff like that. It's a abomination to God. Okay, it's blasphemy to say God told Tamar to go and act as a prostitute. It's not like that.
Yeah, but the somebody just gave this verse. I just want to read it. It's 2 Peter 2:1-2. It says, "But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers, like Muhammad, among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord," and denying that Jesus is God, like Muhammad did, "that brought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. Many shall follow their pernicious ways." And pernicious ways is not just their teaching, but their ways, the sunnah, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. So yeah, how is Christianity spoken of wickedly because of it? So, but but the idea, the principle that you see there, is the idea of the kinsman redeemer. That one of the brothers was supposed to marry Tamar, have a son, and that son was supposed to be. Now, who ended up doing it was Judah. Okay, he ended up having a son with Tamar. And she did have two sons, Peleg and Zerah, and they are in the lineage of Christ. Okay, because her child was destined to be in the lineage of Christ. And there's an interesting thing also about the son, is that when the son was born, it says he put the hand out. When he put his hand out, the nurse wrapped a scarlet thread around his hand. That's a symbol of the blood of Jesus. Same as with Rahab, she put the scarlet thread from her window. So you see the bloodline of Christ through prophecy that prophetically in the Old Testament. So anyway, Rahab, Boaz says there's someone who's closer, and he has the choice is his. And if he wants to redeem the land and have you, let him. But if he won't, then I will. Uh, uh, Boaz said, I will do it. And so what happens is that Boaz goes and sits at the city gate, brings 10 witnesses from the city elders, and he brings that guy who's closer, the closer redeemer, closer cousin. It's like maybe that guy was a first cousin and Boaz is like a second cousin or something like that, you know. And he brings him and he says, okay, our friend, our cousin Elimelech died and his sons died. And so he needs a relative to redeem, to inherit his land. Okay. And and Boaz said to the man, he says, you are the first in line. So if you want it, you can have it. And then the man says, okay, I'll take it. I'll take the land. Sure. He says, okay, when you take the land, you also inherit the wife of his son because she's the wife of the heir. And you have to give a son to her to inherit. That son will inherit the land. And he goes, oh, sorry about that. I didn't know what I was saying. Sorry, man. I'm old. I can't understand anymore, you know. So yeah, I can't do it. Sorry, dude. And then there was a custom back then when you do something like that and you don't want to help your relative. And what you have to do is you have to take your shoe off. And you will be referred to as the shoeless man. You will be referred to as the shoeless man. And so you walk around with one shoe. I guess that was a big deal back then. You can't just go to Walmart and buy another shoe or something. You just walk around barefoot, or 1 foot barefoot, 1 foot not. So, and actually in the Bible, in Deuteronomy, it's not just, you're not just a shoeless man. You don't just have to take your shoe off. The woman that you rejected gets to spit in your face because you are dishonoring your relative by not marrying her. So anyway, so he refused, and Boaz said, okay, I'll do it. And so Boaz marries Rahab, and they have a kid. And the kid's name, I believe, is Obed. Obed.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that the great grandfather of King David?
Yeah, and Obed has a son named Jesse, and Jesse has a son named David. Woo-hoo! And so the lineage of Jesus. And so
King David.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting, you guys? I don't know. Just for you guys, you should go read the book of Ruth. It's only 4 chapters. Very short, but so powerful. And you guys, you know what? If you look at it prophetically, it is a picture of Jesus coming back. Boaz being the kinsman redeemer. Who's our kinsman redeemer? It's Jesus, who became our kinsman. Jesus was not our kinsman before. He wasn't our physical relative. He became our physical relative by becoming one of us. And he became a kinsman redeemer and died on the cross for us. Took on our nature so that as man he could die. It says, as the brothers took flesh and blood, so it behooved him, for whom are all things, to partake in the same. Meaning that we have the same, that he have the same nature that we have, which is humanity, flesh and blood. That's what Jesus did. So that's the whole thing of Book of Ruth. It's all about Jesus. What's interesting, go and read the blessings. Go and read the blessings, because there's one place where it's the men's blessings. The men bless Boaz. But then it's the women's blessings. The women bless Naomi. And what happens to the baby that they had? What happens to the baby?
They gave it to Naomi.
They gave it to Naomi. She had a son to inherit.
Naomi had a son.
Her, that's what it says. Naomi had a son.
Yeah.
And so her bitterness turned into sweetness. And, if I can just tell you one prophetic, I heard somebody say this, I think is very powerful. is that Naomi, in a sense, is like the picture of Israel, the people of Israel. They had all the promises, they had everything, and then they went into exile. And then they lost everything, and then they came back, and they came back empty. But it was a Gentile who came, and that Gentile is the one that brought the baby to give to the people of Israel. That we, the Gentiles, will show the people of Israel, the Jews, their Messiah, and to get their inheritance. So, anyway.
Nice.
So, yes, Naomi she was so happy. All right, you guys. Well, that's Jesus in the book of Ruth. So awesome. It's only 4 chapters. Go read it, you guys. It is so rich. And it's about Jesus coming back and redeeming the whole earth. That land is a picture of Jesus redeeming the earth. It's so rich. It's so prophetic. And there are principles in it that you understand in the book of Revelation. Principles in the book of Revelation of the kingdom of God coming to earth. You don't understand the kinsman redeemer unless you read the book of Ruth. Every part of the Bible fits together like a puzzle. So, all right, you guys. Well, this was fun. You got to be with us in the rain. And so, yes, amen. All right. Anything else you want to say, Boo Boo?
Boo Boo. No, it was a nice journey, the book of Ruth. I love it. I love the book of Ruth. And, once you start reading it and you read it over and over again, you get to know Ruth and her feelings, and Naomi and her feelings, and it's just amazing. It's as if you know them personally,
You're so
It's
relatable.
so deep. Yeah.
It's so real. Man.
They're 2 wonderful women. I mean, that they work together, and they love God, they love their people, they love the God of, and they did everything right to make sure that the lineage of Christ is preserved like the way it should have been. God made it possible.
Amen. So, all right, you guys. Well, thanks for being with us. And if you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. We love you, but much more importantly, he loves you. Thank you for being with us. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
God bless you guys.
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth, this happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
You're going to have to repeat that.
Now we know that this whole scientific miracle